option tire and the DRS, I'm pretty sure there's a strategy to hopefully get you in the front.
Yeah, I hope so. I think no one knows really what's going to happen today in the race. A couple of, as you said, new things are in the game. So DRS and option tires gives you possibilities to move on. But I think everyone else in the grid has a plan to move forward. So I just, my first DTM race, I just enjoy my first race here, and let's see what happens. I hope the guys leave me alone in turn 1 and turn 2. And I've got to have a good race, so let's see what's going to happen.
It's definitely going to be very exciting. Thank you very much, Timo. Best of luck for the race. And now here's Andrew and Dave. I'm now here with the DTM champ, Bruno Spengler. Bruno, let's first of all look at yesterday's qualifying. Starting in P7 today, I bet you would have liked to have been further in the front, but is it okay to live with?
Yeah, it wasn't. I mean, the qualifying was a difficult one. We had very difficult conditions. The start of the qualifying was okay. The car improved. My team did a great job improving the car from free practice to quali, because in free practice we had a bit of struggle with the car. Qualifying was a bit better. And then Q3 was really a bit of a lottery, to be honest, because it was drying. We were on slicks. And then I was one of the first one to pass start finish and to finish the session, unfortunately. So the others behind me had a lap extra. And then they all passed in front of me, so I finished the session in 7th place. So I was a bit unlucky to be too early on the start-finish line, 5 seconds I think it was, so that cost me a few positions and probably Q4. But anyway, with the new DTM format, with the option tire and the DRS, and I think the team can play an amazing role in the strategy today, because everything is open, from lap 4 to 4 laps to the end. You're allowed to do your strategy, do your stuff. So it will be a lot up to the team also to find the right strategy, and I think it will be very hard for them. So I'm looking forward to the race, and I think from 7th place, if I don't get shot in the first couple of corners, everything can happen.
And now I'm here with Timo Scheider, starting in the ultimate position, in pole position, Timo. So that is a perfect start into the new season. And rumor has it you are starting with the option tire. What's the strategy behind that, to go all the way through in the front?
Actually, the plan is to pull away. That's the target I have. But for sure it will be difficult anyway, but I try my very best. So focus on the start, clean first lap, and then we will see.
All right, well, best of luck, Timo. Thank you very much. And as you can see, the tires are being changed right now. So back to you guys.
Crucial, isn't it, in terms of the teams being able to form the strategy that is going to work, but it is very much a test. There is an absolute superstar in the making. Pascal Wehrlein really impressed us during qualifying yesterday, Andrew. Of course, he and Danny Juncadella, the reigning Formula 3 champion, both of those brought in, but Wehrlein right at the very last minute.
Yes, because Ralf Schumacher decided he wanted to be a coach and not continue racing, although he had said earlier that he was going to continue, so Wehrlein was brought in. He went to the Formula 3 Championship in Monza and won a race there, and he's still in the top 10 of the Formula 3 Championship. We've had a couple of those races today. There's Gary Paffett, got to get used to some of these new colours.
Yes, the logo is very different, isn't it?
Yeah, just a little bit more on these options. We know that they do tend to go off quite quickly. After they pass their best, they will drop right off. So getting ready then, there is Matthias Ekstrom on the pole here a year ago. Watch for him, but the race is coming up. So lots of intrigue, lots of strategies here, Dave. Like we had a couple of years ago when we were able to refuel, which brought in all sorts of different strategies. That went away, and of course they'll start with a full tank of fuel, and that will burn off. And that makes me surprised so many people have started on the options, because you'd think with a lighter car, when most of the fuel is burnt off, remember this race will be best part of an hour and 10 minutes, that they'll be a bit softer on the options. But there also is the possibility you can take the options off and put them back on again at the end. And we've got a different pit window this year, because basically the pit window is all but the first three and last 3 laps.
So, Andrew, you've been in and around the DTM for many, many, many years. Obviously, it was very exciting last year with BMW coming in. But right now, let's go to Verena, who's got Nico Rosberg.
Yes, indeed. I'm here with Nico now. Of course, he's supporting Mercedes-Benz because he's supporting the junior team. And yesterday in the qualifying, where we already saw that 2 of the youngsters ended up in qualifying P8 and P10. That seems to be a very, very good result so far. How does it feel to be supporting them?
Oh, for sure. It's been an interesting weekend for me, and I'm in contact with them, and I've said whenever they have some questions or need some sort of support or advice, that they can ask me. So we've been discussing a bit, and they all did a great job yesterday. Five cars in the top 10, which is really okay. Locked out the second row of the grid, from which you can really have a great result. So everything's possible for Mercedes today.
Maybe even a podium?
Well, podium for sure is the goal, yeah, and it should be possible.
Right, so let's see. Thank you very much, Nico Rosberg, and back to you guys.
Thank you, Verena, and thanks to Nico. As I was saying, Andrew, BMW in last year, lots of innovation this year. Is it a step too far, too many things, Andrew?
We're going to find that out, aren't we? Just Nico Rosberg there, but we've seen Nico Hülkenberg, we've seen Sebastian Vettel here, just in a private capacity, supporting his mate Timo Glock. Here is Farfus, who of course had a win last year. Augusto Farfus, the Brazilian. BMW now up to 8 cars. Mercedes have slipped back to 6. We've lost the 2 lady drivers as well. David Coulthard is gone. So quite a lot of changes here. Haven't discussed the DRS much.
Which is
and we haven't seen it much, Dave, because now the whole weekend is truncated. The DTM cars only run on a Saturday morning, and I have a 90-minute session, and you're not supposed to run the DRS in the wet.
Right.
But because they hadn't tried it really in this race condition, they were allowed to run it for a while. And I was talking to a couple of the drivers, and they said, well, we only used it actually on the outlap. So we're not sure. That rear wing will drop, and it will lean it off, if that's the right word, by 15 degrees, which is meant to give the cars 2 or 3 more miles an hour.
Yep.
You have to be within 2, not like Formula 1 second, 2 seconds as you cross the line, start-finish line, then you can, and it can be activated behind the guy. Well, in DTM, lots of people are 2 seconds behind each other. We could see lots of these wings deployed, and the only man that's going to suffer is a man at the front, of course. And so we could see quite a bit of seesawing between the first, second, and third, just because of DRS. For me, it's a little bit false racing, but we'll see how it works out.
And also, unlike F1, with this DRS, Andrew, its use is permitted anywhere.
Yes, but the longest place, you obviously want to use it the longest places. After you come out of the Ecclestone curve, then you can use it all the way down to the hairpin. If you get 2.5 G sideways, it shuts it down.
Right.
If you come off the throttle or hit the brakes, it then closes down automatically. Then you can't use it until you pass the start-finish line. We don't really know what's going to happen.
No.
Frankly, to a degree, I think, apart from the poor guy that's in the front, it's going to even out a bit. But you know, we don't really know what's going to happen. Ekstrom there, running on the regular tyres, so no yellow stripe around there. Paffett, you see no yellow stripe. You see the yellow of the new Euronics livery on the car. And everybody getting ready now for the start of this new DTM season. New this year as well. Trip to Moscow, looking forward to that, the Russian circuit. Obviously we've been to China in the past, but this is breaking new territory. DTM, of course, still has the old clutch start, and it's always tricky because they do not have launch control, and they have to try and load the car up against the handbrake just with a clutch biting as they go off on their warm-up lap now. And there's a bit of a story at the front. Timo Scheider had an awful year last year. Yes. He had a terrible year. The sponsors, the magazine that backed him, asked him if he wanted to go back to a black car because he ran white last year, and he said, yes, please. He thinks it's a bit of a lucky omen. So it'll be interesting to see if it works for him, that omen. Watch out for Robert Wickens, now not in a red car, but in an orange. The Canadian, in his first rookie year last year, was coming on towards the end of the season. Obviously a great single-seater career behind him, winning the Renault 3.5 back in 2011.
So from our helicopter shot, we can see here, this is the place that we think the DRS is going to be used the most.
Yes, so exactly where we see it, yeah.
Up towards the hairpin, which heavy braking zone, the hairpin, where, of course, the DRS will be knocked off. And you can see there the Hockenheim layout. And
Paul di Resta's lap record,
yes,
from 2008, I think might fall today when they're on the super stickies, on the options. They beat it during the April test. Farfus was quickest in the 4-day test they had here at Hockenheim back about 3 weeks ago, and he was on the 32.9. And di Resta's lap record 33.576 in the October meeting. Of course, new faces at Mercedes-Benz.
Nico Rosberg making himself comfortable there in the pit garage, ready for the race to get underway. There is the grid once again. It's Scheider and Farfus on the front row with Vitoris, Wickens. Then it's Ekstrom and Paffett, Bruno Spengler, Pascal Wehrlein, Jerry Hand, Donny Juncadella and Martin Tomczyk. With Jamie Green, then Adrian Tombe, Mike Rockenfeller, Timo Glock, Felipe Albuquerque, Andy Prio, Molina and Mortara, Dirk Werner, Roberto Meri, Marco Wittmann. And the grid graphics also showing you the tyres that the drivers are running on at the start of this race as well. As Andrew indicated, have to nominate the tyres they're going to start on at the end of qualifying. So there the air temperature 22 degrees, track temperature 33 degrees. So different to what qualifying was running, Andrew.
Yes, and it was drying up, but it had been wet and muggy and not very nice. So what we have now is something of a vault into the unknown. Dr. Wolfgang Ulrich from Audi, hot-footed from Spa, where he masterminded a 1-2-3 victory for the Le Mans prototypes yesterday. So it's been a good weekend already for Audi. These V8 engines, story coming that in 3 years, let's go Hardanger, the boss of HWA, in 3 years' time they might be switching to a 2-litre turbo engine. I hope they reconsider that. The V8 engine note rises and the lights will go out. Who makes the best start? Well, certainly Timo made a good start. Somebody on the grid there slow away. And Timo Scheider from Farfus, from Wiggins in third place, David.
Well, what a start that was. Gary Paffett there, you can see very nearly getting back out onto the track. He was hung out on the outside there, but a great start from Timo Scheider. I expected Farfus to really nail the start, but he really didn't nail the start at all. As the rest of the cars come through, still don't know who it was.
I think it was Joey Hand.
Balked on the start line.
I think it was Hand.
Somebody did. And 3 abreast they go.
Oh, around the parabolica. It's not that wide. Into the hairpin. And we've seen incidents down here early on in the races in the past.
Great shot low down there, showing you just what it's like as they brake. Heavy braking area into that hairpin. Cars going wide, of course, over onto the runoff, over the rumble strips, back out onto the circuit again. And there from our helicopter, a fantastic shot of this Hockenheim layout as they move into the stadium section here at Hockenheim, and will eventually complete the first lap of the new DTM season for 2013.
Yeah, just to confirm, Hand is right at the back of the field.
So through the stadium complex comes Timo Scheider, being hounded by Augusto Farfus.
But what we've got to watch for, Dave, is those on the standard tyres. That's Ekstrom, Gary Paffett and Vittoris. Are they starting to go backwards? Well, Vittoris certainly has. Vittoris has already dropped down to about 9th. Ekstrom's dropped down. Paffett is running about 6th at the moment. Here you can see Scheider, Farfus, Wickens, Spengler. DRS is not yet allowed. It will be activated.
So they're having sustained damage, Andrew.
Yeah, that's the car of Miguel Molina. Didn't have a very good season last year. We thought at one stage he'd been dropped by the team, and then he seemed to be reinstated, but not starting well. And there, Jamie Green. Got to get used to him in the Red Bull colours. So Paffett hung on to 6th place. And of course, this race could come back to him. We're just going to see how long these options last.
Tomczyk going to get the drag now and get past Jamie Green. You can see Gary Paffett going through there. Here's Green and Tomczyk absolutely side by side. Andrew Tomczyk goes through.
Yeah, and Hand's also gone up 3 or 4 places and is now in 14th. He was shown at the end of the first lap at the back. I wonder if that was a timing glitch.
Well, we'll get a replay of the start in due course, and we'll be able to.
Ekstrom then on the option in 7th, shadowing what Gary's doing. Of course, these sticky option tyres give it a little more bite under braking as well. It's not just a grip round the corners. And so that helped the braking. Timo Scheider, Augusto Farfus, Wickens, Spengler, the champion, up to 4th. Wehrlein in 5th place in his debut. Vittoris dropped to 9th on the regular tyres. Molina seemingly out of it. Whitman back in 21st. Mortara, who was Audi's only winner last year, down there in 20th place. And look at Farfus in the BMW, pushing hard. Prio in 17th.
And the battle we were talking about just a couple of moments ago, of course, it wasn't Green, it was Ekstrom and Tomczyk. And now going past Gary Paffett as well, because and we can see, we're beginning to see in the early stages of this what difference that option tyre is making, Andrew.
You've got to spend almost as much time looking at the timing screen as the monitor, Dave, just to see whether these times start to drop off for these boys on the options. Doing just got the fastest lap of the race so far, about 35.0 from Farfus. And there is Farfus, and he's certainly pushing hard after Timo Scheider. Nice to see Timo, the double DTM champion of the past, back in the lead. Drive-through penalty for Martin Tomczyk. Oh dear.
Jump start and got to serve a drive-through penalty, and he dives in to take it straight away. So all his good work, Andrew, counting as naught now.
Oh, really locked it up on the pit lane line. Ekstrom in 8th. And you've got to say, Gary, on the regular tyres.
Such a jump start as well, Andrew.
Yeah,
that was a really
that is hand, isn't it? Stop there. It's definitely a BMW.
So here he is rejoining then, following that drive-through penalty for jumping the start. So, of course, we've got to get used to Jamie Green being in exactly the same colours as Eki.
And did I just see Wickens pass there by Spengler? Yes, Spengler, nice. Neat move, feinted to the one side and went down the inside. Spengler, with all this experience here, many years, of course, with Mercedes-Benz. Meanwhile, really harrying at the back of the lead car, Timo Scheider. Is Farfus, the man from Curitiba in Brazil.
And what an impression the white Mercedes is having on us, Pascal Wehrlein's car, Andrew. And we go on board with Pascal Wehrlein right now from a cockpit view of the track around Hockenheim here in the sunshine this afternoon. We're on lap 3 of 42 of this, the new season of DTM, and on board with Wehrlein, and they take it wide there because of the banking. And this is the replay of Bruno Spengler getting past.
Look at him just flicking down the gearbox. They only that was only introduced last year. Before that, they had a big stick shift. Wehrlein in an outstanding 5th place, just 18 years old, the youngest man ever in the DTM. And Farfus wants to get by, but he also doesn't want to ruin those options. Going to try and keep them alive as long as he can. I think we've had some pit stops. There, here we are. Look, people coming off the.
There's Whitman in.
Yeah. Coming. The options are coming off. Well, seems they've only lasted 4 laps on some of them.
Or is it, Andrew?
Watch.
They're doing what we have said could happen.
Might use them at the end.
At the end as well.
Yep.
So Farfus has got past Scheider.
Just when we saw the pit stops, it happened, of course.
I half wondered whether Farfus was just going to hang on for the DRS to be enabled, Andrew.
Yep.
There he is. That's how
the DRS is enabled there.
Yes, it was just enabled, so around the parabolic, and it's so obvious when that DRS is enabled on these cars.
Yeah, it just tips the whole wing down.
Yes.
It's not like one of the planes in the Formula 1 car. So that helped Farfus go by, as we thought it would. But Gary Paffett hanging on there in 6th place and not on the options. This race could come back to him.
Yes, it could.
I mean, I'm surprised some people have gone off them after only 4 laps, but maybe that they have this plan to go back onto them. Oh, and a fire there from the Tambay in the Ironman 3 car.
So that's Tambay out in his RS5.
Not sure what Robert Downey Jr. would think of that. He's a star of that film, which I think is hitting the screens in Germany tomorrow. So we've got the 2 at the front.
Wickens goes off.
Oh, Wickens goes off and turns it around. So Wickens got a problem there. Do you think when he missed his brake, if he just simply missed his braking, he just would have turned it right and just gone wide?
Safety car out.
Safety car is out, presumably for that. that's going to be a big disappointment. Wickens must have had a mechanical failure. And now we could get most of the rest coming off the...
So I suspect the safety car is out for the Tombay fire, isn't it?
Yeah, well, where was that?
That was right on the side of the track, wasn't it? I don't think the Wickens car was far enough out of the way.
Oh, no, they surely pull that out of the way. So we're losing a few already.
And there you can see.
And the DRS now is disabled. Farfus comes in. And Spengler comes in. And Timo Scheider stays out. I have to say that yellow stripe on the option, there you see it, when the car's running on the track, it's not that easy to see.
No.
I'll talk to Mr. Hancock, see if you can make it a bit wider, I think. You go into their hospitality tent and they've got a tyre which is completely orange.
Yes, they have.
There is Paffett in, yeah. Did he put the options on there? That's the question. I doubt it.
Oh, that really is.
Oh, yeah, it's yeah. But like the M25 on a Friday afternoon there. Oh, we got a torrent down the pit lane.
So we're just looking through a comms booth window at where the smoke is coming on the circuit, which gives us an indication of where Tombay stopped.
Yeah, that's the reason. You were right there. Well, I'm sure they'll get him out of the way. There's
Andy Priaulx. So safety car leads the cars around here. Early stage of this, just 6 laps of the 42 run, and the safety car is out.
I think Priaulx, just called it the column. I think he has now put the options on. That's been quite a big fire, look.
Yeah, it has.
I wonder what happened there. Those Audi engines actually. I don't know if it's the engine problem, but they're actually prepared in the UK by Neil Brown.
Replay of the start, Andrew. And there we see the jump start for which a drive-through penalty was served.
Tomczyk reacted very quickly, I think, to get around it. Oh.
And somebody else that we haven't mentioned that made a blistering start actually is Timo Glock, Andrew.
Timo Glock, currently in 6th place.
Yes, Spengler, Wehrlein and Timo Glock all having brilliant starts. I've been really, really impressed with Wehrlein.
Vittorius went back, from 3rd back to best part 10th place. Here's the Spengler view. He was getting a good run as well, wasn't he? Down the outside, mega start from Spengler. Well, I wonder what happened to Robert Wickens' car.
Yeah, that was
such a disappointment for the young Canadian. What a good day for some Canadians. Spengler's having a good day.
Yep.
We had one in the Porsche Carrera Cup race that
now this was Pascal
Wehrlein. Wehrlein's on board.
Been really, really impressive through qualifying, and there, as everyone ran off, Pascal able to take advantage of that. Yeah, great view of that.
Well, we want to see that when it's
when it's being used and deployed.
There was quite a lot of discussion about how much it could be dropped by. The manufacturers discussed that.
Yeah.
And BMW, I think, wanted it to be as much as 25 degrees. Be something to do with their aero package. Somebody else, I think, wanted it 10, and BMW, no, and Audi wanted it. That's right, Audi wanted it 15, and they were the middle. So we're going to have to clean that up.
Yeah, that looks in a sorry state, Andrew.
Well, all that foam makes a horrible mess, doesn't it?
Adrian Tombay then.
So
there is Timo Glock going through.
So let's just recap there. You see the positions at the moment. It's Wehrlein in the lead of Farfus, Glock, Juncadella, Spengler, Tomczyk, Paffett, Green, and here's a replay of the pit stop. They're having a bit of a problem.
Oh, late there.
Remember, these pit stops can happen in 3 seconds.
Let's see it again from this camera. So Roberto Merri
Merry going on to the options.
Yes, I mean, the pit crew's very well honed, Andrew, aren't they? Practice.
Yeah, I suspect later in the season, pretty well everybody run the same strategy with the options, but at the moment, there's many different strategies going on.
And I half wonder, Andrew, whether some of those have taken those options off early on to give them that opportunity to use them right at the end of the race.
Yeah, now they're keeping them nice and cool here. And hopefully this will be the last safety car lap. Got about an hour of this race to run. Might pan out as a timed race. So, all right, it's under the safety car, and after some pit stops, but Pascal Wehrlein, 18 years old. 2 years ago he was in the Formula Masters, and here he is on the huge motor racing stage, which is the DTM.
And leading it at that, yes.
Yes.
All right. Pit stops, etc. Taking those into account. Nonetheless, it must be a good boost for him, mustn't it, to think that...
Yeah. I mean, these races are going to be much more difficult to read than they were in the past. These different strategies going on. Oh, a bit of a...
Well, and that's in the approach to the pit lane.
Yeah, well, as long as he got it stopped in time, I suppose that's allowed.
And
that was Wickens.
Yeah.
Suspension problem, maybe. Brake problem, perhaps. And then this fire suddenly kicked off at once, didn't it?
Yes, it did, rather. Thankfully, we saw Tombay getting out of that car perfectly all right. But his race is done and dusted for today. It is the first of the new season of DTM 2013. We're at Hockenheim as we watch on the BMW garage, one of the BMW garages there.
Yeah. Do you know what, Dave? We were in the BMW earlier. It was a bit like a crash down there. We've got Martin Tomczyk's got a new baby. Timo Glock's got a new baby. Because the mother of the Tomczyk daughter is Christina Sura, did quite a lot of racing herself.
Lights out on the safety car. It's coming in this lap. We just saw Adrian Tombay's, the mess that was left on the track, which was just into the just at the start of this stadium section. So here we go, Andrew. Resumption of racing when they cross the safety car line, and it's going to be Wehrlein that leads this race.
Well, let's see what he can do with this. Wehrlein in the lead, and that's Dinter being on the option still.
And having
not pitted, stayed on the options, it's keeping them alive.
So Wehrlein, Farfus, then Glock in P3, Juncadella.
See, everything's so mixed up already, isn't it, from the way they started on the grid. This is what the ITR, who manage this series, want. Somebody on the grass out there. Here's Gary Paffett. I still might put a fiver on him. Paffett. So interesting. Now we'll watch Wehrlein's times now. It's gone. So Farfus has switched off the option.
So Farfus then on the regular tyre, and what that's doing is it's choking the pack almost a little bit behind, Andrew, isn't it? And that's playing into the hands of Wehrlein.
Of course, once DRS is re-enabled.
Yeah, of course.
And then he'll just go blasting about. Albuquerque's got a penalty for speeding in the pit lane, so we'll see him coming in. So that will compromise his race badly.
On board with Paffett now. Chasing down Tomczyk ahead of him.
Timo Scheider has slipped down to 18th place at the moment, but I think there's going to be many twists and turns. A bit of kick of a dust there. We go past this grandstand. That grandstand's pretty full. We're told it's just about just under 90,000 people here. Hand, who stalled, is up to 9th.
And there, Timo Glock then, new to the series for this season.
Well, we're showing there that Merry has made 2 pit stops. Now, if he's back on the standard tyre, it's exactly the same tyre as last year, Is he going to try and stay out the rest of the race?
It's a big ask, isn't it, Andrew?
He could. Well, these tyres, the standard tyres, are very wear resistant. Some bits of carbon up in the air there. What's that off? How did that come off? Looked like the front, this sort of spoiler around there. There it is. That's, oh yeah.
The whole front end of Ekstrom's car, isn't it?
Just lost the whole bonnet. We've seen that before in the DTM. Oh! So Ekstrom.
That's Mortara went round, wasn't it?
Yep. Tara gets back into the race. Eki with the works exposed. V8 motor under there. Keep it nice and cool, I suspect. You see, he went onto the grass. That must have, and then that must have ripped the mountings off the nose, and then it suddenly departed. There it goes.
Oh, and there's it from Timo Scheider's.
Yeah, they're so light, those Kevlar parts.
So, what is the ruling regarding that, Andrew? Is that going to have to be replaced? Can't run the rest of the race like that, surely.
They have run a long way like that in the past.
Right.
Just confirm that Albuquerque will have a drive-through. Wehrlein then in the lead, but doing 135s, 135.6, nearly full tank of fuel. Great shot there of the hairpin.
Right on the back of Tomczyk. There's Timo Glock now right on the back of Augusto Farfus. You can see Wehrlein, who's making his way up the road there, but we're on board with P3 at the moment, Timo Glock, as we go to a high shot. So you can see Timo in the all-yellow Deutsche Post colours, hounding Augusto Farfus.
So the big question mark now is how long can Wehrlein go on these option tyres? He's got 11 laps in the book, but some of those are under the yellow. Gary
Paffett, Spengler, and they're having a real battle.
Oh yeah, look at Paffett. Paffett and Tomczyk, two former champions together.
On board with Paffett now.
Yep.
Really takes it tight there, more than kisses that, doesn't he? Trying to find a way past. There is Tomczyk.
And Glock is making those options, Liv. He hasn't been to the pitch yet. That's why he's moved right up.
Again, Paffett.
He's going to do it. He's on the outside. He has to try and switch down the inside. These three manufacturers' cars all very even in that sense.
See the wings deployed there, Andrew, the DRS.
There it is.
Trying to find a way past Bruno Spengler. At last, there is a glimmer of hope. Spengler went just a little bit wide.
Yeah. And Spengler didn't have anybody 2 seconds in front of him, didn't he? So.
Oh, now look at this. We're on board with Paffett, who's literally.
He's just nudging him along.
Getting a draw.
Look at it. Great racing here. Paffett got a little bit of a nudge there from Spengler. But then Spengler goes wide, Paffett goes through.
But coming through it all, Andrew. Absolutely brilliant. There we
Glock.
Yeah.
Yeah, Glock went past Farfus. That could have been a DRS move.
There is Timo then. Again, heavy braking zone.
Yeah.
Favourite place for overtaking here.
Timo Glock never really got a good shot of Formula One, did he? He was with the Toyota team, more recently, of course, with Marussia.
But just watch here.
Look at this. Replay. Oh. Spengler and Paffett, so long teammates at Mercedes, and a little bit of carbon Kevlar came off there.
On board with Spengler.
Oh. Gary just closed out there.
And Spengler ran out there.
Well, he might be kind of calm, gentle sort of chap outside the car, Spengler, but he grows horns, doesn't he?
And look at this.
So we got at the front Wehrlein and Glock, and neither of them have switched yet off the options. Is Paffett having another go? See what Gary can do now. He's going to watch that wing.
But the one who made the most of all of that was Vitoris, Andrew. Absolutely brilliant driving. Yeah. So there we see the Euronics livery of Gary Paffett. Here they now, race leader Pascal Wehrlein.
Yeah, he's got that sizable 3.4 second lead at the moment. But if those tyres suddenly drop off, his lap times at the moment are 1:35.5, so he's keeping them alive. Teams were saying, you know, might go 9 or 10 laps. Hankook was saying they'll go further, but it depended on which manufacturer they were on. They wouldn't tell us which had better tyre life though.
So Wehrlein, Glock, Farfus, Juncadella.
Look at Gary this time. Paffett chasing Tomczyk. Diving down into that hairpin. Catching Vitoris.
So on board with Gary Paffett now. Entering the stadium section here at Hockenheim.
There's Farfus
and
being passed.
Juncadella.
Good move by
Farfus.
Yeah, the Formula 3 man. In the Stern magazine back car. Colours have been on Mercedes for many years. Here's Farfus out Wehrlein, 3.4 seconds still in the lead over Glock.
There's Glock going backwards, Andrew. Glock is going backwards. Look, there he is, being passed by everybody. What problem has Timo? And now, remarkably, that means right at the front of the pack, it's Wehrlein and Juncadella.
Juncadella must have been one of those to start on the options. Just need to check that out, Dave.
Here's Timo. A wide run then and out onto the gravel. That's what caused Timo. Now he managed to keep the momentum there and keep it going so he didn't get dug into
Yeah, we
the
didn't
gravel.
see that, did we? We'll see it now, and that's why he's dropped back.
So a mistake from Timo.
Could that be the tyres starting to lose their grip?
Possibly. Yes, possibly. But what it does mean is we've got two Formula 3 stars, 1 and 2.
Yeah, amazing. And Ekstrom has got a drive-through penalty for pushing another car, and we know what happened. He lost his bonnet because of that. So Eki down the he's running in 19th at the moment.
So Spengler battling on standard tyres, battling with Roberto Merri at the moment.
And the Mortara and Albuquerque, and certainly Mortara and Merri have both been given a black and white signal, a yellow card, if you will, for going wide. And so too has Glock. But Glock, well, he went well wide.
He did, rather. So Spengler loses out to Roberto Merri then, and Whitman as well. So Pascal Wehrlein is the lead.
I think that the options are just starting to go away now on those lead two cars.
Well, you'll keep an eye on the times.
Joey Hand now in 9th place.
Here's Gary Paffett then.
Goes through past Tomczyk. Remember, Gary hasn't made a stop yet. Oh, and past the recovering Glock. Paffett in 5th place. And yet to have the benefit of the super stickies. And I thought it was a good move for Gary and Vitoris to not go on to the stickies at the start, get some information
Whitman
off their teammates.
Joey Hand
Whitman goes past Hand, yeah. 8 BMWs this year, a new team running Whitman, for instance, the M-Tech team, run by former Red Bull engine man.
Mary there muscling against Joey Hand. And Joey Hand now suffering. There is Gary Paffett. Get used to Gary Paffett and those colours. On board with him. With the chrome effect for tourists, you can see through Gary Paffett's windscreen there. This is P5, Gary Paffett. Here comes Timo Glock. Rockefeller also in as well, Andrew, you saw.
See there, those just trying to see the condition of those options. They didn't look too bad, but they've obviously lost their grip. It's Rockefeller, and that's a slow stop. 5.5, we expect 3s. Fairline still out there, handling that tyre.
So there is Glock.
There's a problem. And the wheels come off. Oh no!
So a
disaster for Glock. That's the end of his race. Well, he'll remember his first DTM, won't he?
Yes.
He's pretty well parked it out of the way. Well, you see, the guy never even got the nut on.
No.
Guy never got the nut on. It unnerved the car, and off he went, and he was just a passenger after that. The two F3 boys still in the lead. And in the lead group of 6 or 7 at the moment, the fastest man out there is Gary Paffett. Well, a bit of a disaster there for the Glock team.
Paffett up to 4th now, Andrew. So Verline, Juncadella, Farfus, Paffett. There is our race leader. We haven't seen too much of him because there's been so much going on as Bruno Spengler comes in now. And a good stop from Spengler's team. 3.1, Andrew.
4 Mercedes, 3 Mercedes, 4 Mercedes in the top 5 at the moment. Lovely inboard shots and cockpit shots. So Verline has now done 18 laps on the options. 2 or 3 of them under the yellow. And these can still do 136s on them.
So watching this battle now between Tom Chick and Dirk Werner, Andrew. Two BMWs there.
Well, Glock's under investigation. I don't know if he could have done anything about it. And also there's a penalty for number 5, Eduardo Mortara. So Verline still in the lead at the moment.
A wobble there from Farfus. Paffett on his
tail. Yeah.
You said at the beginning of the race that Paffett was worth a fancy in this race, and he has looked good.
Yeah, you see Farfus, the light on it, there he goes by on DRS. And there, see it pop up again.
Breaking into the hairpin. So Paffett up to P3 now. 2 relatively young guns, 1st and 2nd, and then
Verline's last lap was 137. Those tyres are going now.
Yes,
they're dropping off now. But interestingly, he stayed ahead of Paffett at the moment. But Paffett hasn't made a stop either. And Paffett's half a second a lap quicker. Well, Paffett has made a stop, hasn't he?
Oh, just chopping off the nose of Whitman there, but out onto the gravel. Roberto Merri. There's Timo Scheider, Andrew, who was pole position down there in P11 at the moment.
So just looking at Wehrlein, his pit stop is going to take him 20 seconds. He's going to drop him down to about 10th place. And just Wehrlein and Juncadella haven't made a stop. They've taken these tyres for 20 laps.
So that is Jamie Green.
That is Jamie Green with the...
So difficult to tell.
Well,
it's
got the yellow strakes on the front, which is what Ekstrom had last year.
Yep. There's Nico Rosberg looking on.
Wehrlein and Juncadella, what a turn up for the books.
Well, it's remarkable, isn't it?
So strategies being played out here. And will it ultimately be the old heads who win out with all their experience? There's a Californian Hand, who's also racing in the American Le Mans Series in the BMW Z4. Had a third place the other day at Long Beach, and his teammates won the class against all that opposition for the likes of Ferrari and Corvette and Dodge.
Werner having another look here at Tom Chick. He's been in Tom Chick's wheel tracks for a number of laps.
Now we got a little logo telling us who's on which. Do we agree with it all though?
Oh, and there, Farfus
going wide.
And Vitoris going through.
Yeah, Vitoris is one of the few that's got the same colour scheme in it. There's Ekstrom.
Yeah, you can tell that car now, Andrew.
Yeah.
And Bruno Spengler and...
The neck is down in 16th place at the moment.
This is
it's just gone to Spengler just taking him for 16th place. Bumping along a bit.
Marco Whitman.
So we're halfway. It's 20 laps. So the options have gone up 21 laps now on Wehrlein, as I see it. That means that Gary can come in and put the options on now for the rest of the race.
So this ding-dong battle between Marco Whitman and Roberto Merri continues.
What about Andy Priaulx, former 4 times World Touring Car Champion, in 13th place at the moment? There's good into BMW battles here.
That's raged for lap after lap.
Yep. Past the pits, past that massive grandstand. And all the engineers and team managers have their eyes absolutely glued to these lap times, Dave.
Yes.
See what those options are doing.
Now, surely... DRS deployed on both the cars, you see, Andrew.
Yeah, see that sort of droopy wing seat going up.
That gives Werner no help, does it, in trying to get past.
Hand flashing his lights now.
So there is Tom Chick, there's Werner, and they've been like that for lap after lap after lap.
They don't want to take each other off, but they are racing, aren't they?
They are. But of course,
Joey still needs to get his confidence up in a
Tom Chick,
DTM car.
Tom Chick is within 2 seconds of Farfus, so he can deploy his DRS there. So too can Werner, and that's why they're absolutely matched around the parabolica there. And Werner has just not been able to make a move stick, Andrew. But, as you say, they are teammates, and in fairness, Farfus just ahead of them. Here's Edo Mortara retiring that car.
Yep. So we've got just 18 left at the moment. There's Dr. Ulrich having a look round. At the moment, not going so well for Audi here.
So in now comes Tomczyk. Team at the ready.
And he's gone back on the blacks to take him to the finish.
3.8 stop for Tomczyk.
Those options go much further than we thought. Look, we got Verlaine and Juncadella done 23 laps on him now. They've got to get 2 more pit stops in, of course.
Yes.
At the moment, the gap between Verlaine and Juncadella is 5.5 seconds. Danny Juncadella, reigning FIA European Formula 3 champion.
So Werner's on Farfus now. This is the battle for P5 on track between 2 BMW drivers. Augusto Farfus there and Dirk Werner. Now, Werner, of course, is going to be able to deploy his DRS, which should take him past Farfus.
There's Molina, who's running down in 14th place. There's Priot.
So 24 laps done of 42. And here is Molina getting past Andy Priot, and then
DRS effect, wasn't it?
Here comes Augusto Farfus now.
Farfus for his second stop. Well, how is this going to shake out, Dave? It's still not that clear. We've got quite a few guys have made their second and final stop.
Well, Verlaine and Juncadella 136.877, 136.945 last time around, Andrew. Just looking at these times.
Yeah, well, we were told that they drop off by as much as 4 seconds a lap. That doesn't seem to be the case at all. But they're still going to make 2 pit stops, and that's between them in, stop, out. It's 20 seconds here.
Yep.
You know, that's 40 seconds. So they're making hay while sun shines a bit, I think.
Tomczyk going through.
Oh
there.
yeah, just about going too deep on the brakes.
Yep.
Farfus nips back round him again. Probably having a little giggle under his crash helmet. Happy chap. Augusto Farfus. Always seems to be joking around the place. There's Tomczyk. Well, Audi might have had a great day yesterday at Spa. Oh, Verlaine's in. Okay, here he comes. Right at the end of the pits. Into the Muka Motorsport pit.
Well, remarkable duration.
Out he goes. And where's he going to cycle in? About 7th place, I would think.
He's going to get out in front of Merry.
Well, that pit stop's helped him then.
So Verlaine now P5.
What's Juncadella going to do? I reckon he'll be in on the next lap. Here's Paffett. Still running strong, now up to 3rd place. 1 more pit stop. To stick on the... he has to stick the options on.
Yes.
He has to run them.
Paffett now effectively up to 2nd, isn't he? Because Juncadella leads, Paffett then Vitoris in the Chrome Effect car.
Remember Gary Paffett saying came so close to winning this championship last year. Yes. He led it for much of the way. Had very little in terms of support from other Mercedes drivers.
So Roberto Merry, Pascal Verlaine, of course, very much mates, aren't they, Andrew? Having a real battle out here. Pascal Verlaine managed to come in, or come back out of the pits just in front of Merry.
So, Juncadella, his first ever DTM race. With, well, here he is. Okay, Juncadella's in. Team go to work. Off goes Danny Juncadella.
So where's he going to filter in, Andrew?
He's going to filter in just behind Wehrlein in 6th place, or he'd come out, I would think. Is that where he is?
Yep.
So now Gary Paffett is in the lead. One more pit stop remaining. So the big question mark is, as Farfar's still battling away.
So Farfus gets past Joey Hand. Well, to be a team manager in this end, trying to work out a strategy is there's Marco Whitman. So Paffett leading, then Vitoris.
Remember, Vitoris is in a good place as well, because he hasn't been on the options yet. So Paffett and Vitoris both go on the options. Have both got one pit stop remaining. Werner in 3rd place has a pit stop remaining, but has to go on the blacks. And Wehrlein ditto. And Merry has made both his pit stops.
Now, of course, the information from Wehrlein and Juncadella running at the front, Andrew, that will have been filtered back, won't it? So,
yeah,
from a strategic point of view, Paffett will be aware of how the tyres have performed and such like.
Oh yes, he'll know that. 2 dots, just to remind you, it means they've made the 2 mandatory pit stops. They're good to go to the end. Nice shot of that rear wing. It's actuated pneumatically, using a system that was already on the car.
It's piggybacked off an existing facility.
Off the gear change, I think.
Yep.
Here is Paffett. Just wonder when he will take those options. Now.
So Paffett dives in.
And let's see.
Big lock up there.
His last lap was a 36.5. Be interested to see what lap times he starts to do now. And now we're coming to the sharp end of this affair, which is been intriguing. A little difficult to read. We're trying to keep you on top of it. Was a yellow stripe around there?
No.
Must have taken them. Did he take them in the middle then?
There was no yellow stripe there.
Well, he has to run them. He must have taken them in the middle stint. Must have done.
So Paffett filters back out then.
Well, we didn't expect that.
No.
We didn't see his pit stop close up.
So Vitoris it is.
Well, we can go down to the pits down here from Timo Glock and losing that wheel.
Yes, I bet Timo is very disappointed. You were having a really good race, and then in the first pit stop, you actually lost a wheel during the race. I guess that happens, but I mean, how do you feel?
Yeah, I mean, you know, everyone can make a mistake. I made a mistake in turn 12 where I went straight and locked the wheel. Now one of the mechanics made a mistake, so that's racing, that's part of it. But I think until that, we had a pretty good race. Maybe didn't do the right strategy call on the safety car period when everyone went in and we stayed out. I think we should have stayed out. We should have come in as well. But that's how it is. You know, learned a lesson today again. But until that, I think we had a good speed and good fun. So coming from P15, being in the top 10 after after the first lap, and then being up there in the top 3 was good fun. So let's bring on the next race.
Right then, thank you very much, Timo Glock, and back to you guys.
Bring on the next race.
And there is Ekstrom's car. It's finally given up the ghost. So I'm now wondering a little bit what Vitoris is running at the moment.
There he is. And
it's not easy to see, is it? When he turned, DRS almost gave him the boost by. Can you see any yellow on there, Dave? Difficult, isn't it?
It is difficult.
I'm going to ask Kumo to put a great big orange stripe around there.
So Tomczyk then rejoining.
Should have been looking at Twitter to see if anybody's twittering what people are on, actually.
29 of 42. Vitoris leading. Then it's Dirk Werner. Then Pascal Wehrlein, P3. Berta Meri, Augusto Farfus, Danny Ucadella, Gary Paffett, Marco Wittmann, Bruno Spengler, and Mike Rockefeller, the top 10 at the moment. So there is the battle at the front with Vitoris Mercedes, Chrome Effect Mercedes, Dirk Werner BMW, some 4/10 behind. Both of those drivers have taken one pit stop. Andrew?
Yeah, Vitoris in his third season of the DTM, former winner in GP2. And as you see from the dots, those top 3 have still got a pit stop to take, and that pit stop takes 20 seconds. So Roberto Meri looking pretty good, I think.
Yes, it's
at the moment.
One of the best showings we've seen from Meri.
Oh.
There is Pascal Wehrlein, and then Farfus and Meri.
Yeah, now in the Thomas Sabo car, the colours we got used to with Gary Paffett. So we've got Mercedes, BMW, Mercedes, BMW, Mercedes, BMW, and then BMW and Rockefeller's the best Audi in 10th place. Not a good day for them.
With Bruno Spengler running down there in 9th place at the moment.
Lap time wise, who's the fastest man out there at the moment? Looks like Farfus. Hello, Timo Scheider actually, right now. And just gone purple in the middle sector. Fastest middle sector of the whole race goes to Joey Hand. There's Spengler.
Going past Wittmann there.
Yeah, blasting past his much younger teammate. Reigning champion. Born in France, but of Canadian parentage.
Now, look at this. This for the lead. Vitoris in the Chrome Mercedes, Dirk Werner in the BMW. Has he got a better line through there? Will he get the traction down? Will he be able to get the power down and get the traction out?
And of course, he's going to have the advantage on the next lap at least of the DRS. Well, you might not even need it. Ducks out to the outside, can't find a way there, tries to do the undercut in this tricky little technical section here. Watch these wings then on the next lap. We're in the stadium section. Little look down the inside.
Interesting how the cars always take to the outside there because of the bank in. That's the better line, isn't it? Can't make the inside work. So Vitoris, Werner.
Well, I would think when they get up on the, come out of this section, they go round the Nord curve here. Second gear, accelerate up. late pit stoppers.
Verline in.
Yep.
Merry in.
That'll be everybody then. I know we've still got Werner out there. This is his second stop. There he is, third stop actually. We want to see what's happening at the front.
Still Werner.
Yeah, still.
They're still. Oh, look at this! Absolutely side by side here. Dirk Werner and Vittoris then, and Werner has done enough now, has he?
Well, Dirk Werner was looking good last season, wasn't he?
Yep.
And he's looking very good in this race now, Dirk Werner.
Neither of
but of course, they've still got to.
Yep.
They've got to stop yet. It's another 20 seconds. Well, we'll cycle them back about fourth or fifth.
So
the man who's looking really good now, because he's the highest placed guy that's made a second pit stop, is Farfus.
Yes, Augusto Farfus. Paffett, then Spengler. So Vittoris dives in now. There he is, locks up. So they have to bring the speed limit down.
It was a big lock-up as well. But he doesn't care, because if he's flat-spotted those tyres,
they're coming off.
They're probably going to be used as a coffee table afterwards. Silver colours, used to associate a long time with Jamie Green. Jamie Green's in 12th place in his first run with Audi. And, yeah, Paffett in front of him. And the gap between Paffett and Farfus is about 5.2 seconds, Dave. And I think that, in reality, that is the battle for the race.
Yes.
That is the battle for victory here, with 9 laps of this intriguing battle remaining. There's Mike Rockenfeller.
You see the DRS shut off there.
Yeah.
Marco Whitman. No defence against that.
Well, it's got Timo Scheider in there as well.
Yeah.
Timo Scheider started on the pole. Currently in 8th place. What happened to Gary? The last lap he was quite slow. He was a couple of seconds off the pace, so I don't know if he had a bit of a wobble somewhere that we didn't see. Werner hanging on then, still to make his last pit stop. Right at the end of the race, Dave, they disenabled the DRS for the last 3 laps. Timo Scheider to get past that Ice Watch car. Chasing after Marco Whitman, who was a reserve driver last season. This is his debut in the DTM, although he was around the scene all last year. Did quite a lot of the test driving.
Under some pressure from Vittoris.
Yeah, I wonder if we'll have a bit of a DRS effect going on there. Wings going backwards and forwards. Scheider tries to make the switch down the inside. I think Scheider's through, isn't he? Scheider makes the move.
Going through as well. Good and brave move from Hand.
Yeah, the Californian racer.
Now Hand on Scheider.
Yeah.
But there, and that's the little bank section, isn't it, where the inside doesn't work too well. So there was Whitman, there's Scheider going past him. There you can see Joey Hand just waiting ready to pounce. Meantime, there's Gary Paffett.
Well, it's dropping back from Farfus.
Defending, of course, from Vitoris.
Because Farfus had that one win last year. Oschersleben finished the season strongly in 7th place. Vitoris just thought he'd have a go, but he'll get in big trouble if he spins Gary around.
So there you see the blue and yellow of Gary Paffett going through. Vitoris. Then it's Spengler. Here's Mike Rockefeller. Then Timo Schuyler, Joey Hand, Marco Whitman. And then we're back to Roberto Meri and Pascal Wehrlein. Then it's Jamie Green and...
Well, Mercedes' decision to downsize to 6 cars was criticised quite considerably in Germany, but frankly, it's not hurting them, is it? Got Paffett and Vitoris running close together. Werner will have to stop pretty soon. There's 6 laps of the race remaining.
Yeah.
Might be able to get back in. We'll come back maybe between Vitoris and Spengler, depending on how quick the pit stop is.
Right.
So, Dirk Werner, one of the younger generation of BMW drivers, although made his original racing name in Porsches.
There is Augusto Farfus then. And it is a
see
while.
Gary's quite a way back.
Yeah, it's a while before you see Gary, isn't it?
Well, what an intriguing season is in store for us, yes.
It's going to be very, I think intriguing is a good word.
Scheider, Mike Rockenfeller.
And in comes Werner.
Werner brings the Samsung back car in. Remember, he's run by the Schnitzer crew, and there's a typical Schnitzer pit stop, 3.1 seconds. They still are the slickest at it of the 4.
And he's going to be out before Paffett, look.
Yeah, out before Paffett.
That's
got to get the tyres up to temperature, of course. Well, that was a mega stop. So now everyone has made their full complement of pit stops and got 5 more laps. And look at Paffett under attack from Vitoris, and Vitoris goes through. Has he missed his braking? Yes, he has, because Paffett comes back with their side-by-side down to the next right-hander, and Paffett's probably in the right place for that one. And Paffett hangs on. We'll have to hear some of the radio back to the pits from Mercedes, and then Vitoris takes the advantage now. Can Paffett answer back? Spengler's right there also. Right up the back of his greatest rival and adversary over the years.
well, Vitoris does appear to be quicker of the two. Andrew is.
Yeah, he does. At the moment.
So there in replay, you can see how Vitoris did it.
Yep.
Paffett did try and come back, but
of course, on the next time down to the hairpin, he might be able to zap him with the wing. Farfus, Werner, Vitoris, Paffett, Spengler, Timo Scheider, Rockenfeller, Hand in 8th, Whitman 9th, and Merry in 10th place. And it's Verline and Junkadella, Green and Tomczyk.
Remember, when we get into the last 3 laps, DRS not going to be allowed to be used.
No, well, we got...
where are we on? 4 left, aren't we?
Yep.
38 out of 42.
Should get a note from race control on our monitor about it. Look at Rocky.
So Hand has got past Rockenfeller.
Yep. And moves up to 7th. Having a pretty handy race, actually.
Yep.
There's Joey.
Looking good. He seems in a more comfortable place this year.
Yep.
Okay, it's only the first race in. Augusto Farfus then.
He's also changed teams, swapped teams.
The tyre indicators on that graphic
on
the
we
screen
got
as well. Farfus, Werner, Vitoris, Paffett. Spengler on board with Timo Scheider. DRS is now disabled, race control tells us.
So it's just a race to the line now. Prio will be disappointed with this. Ekstrom did save his sticky tyres to the end. Could do with seeing a few more of those graphics actually, Dave.
Yep.
Middle of the race. Farfus and Werner. Is Farfus going to win his 2nd DTM race? Well, he certainly used this BMW to good effect.
On board with Timo Scheider now, closing stages of this DTM race here at Hockenheim.
He's got to get by in the hairpin now. He's got to rely on the brakes.
Yeah.
Set for a podium. Farfus has got a 6-second lead over Werner, and then it's Vitoris. Paffett is in 4th place, and then it's Spengler, the defending champion, and then Timo Scheider, and then Hand and Rockenfeller. There they are at BMW.
Yes,
getting ready for another
Farfus garage.
Yeah, Bavarian success.
BMW.
And the flags wave, look, as he comes by. BMW have got a huge presence here this weekend. One of the biggest hospitality, well, you can't call it a marquee, but constructions I've ever seen in my life. Bigger than anything I've ever seen at Formula One. Farfus and Werner heading a BMW 1-2. BMW boss Jens Marquardt going to be happy with this. Miri now dropped down to 10th place, but the young guns had their moment in the sun, didn't they?
Yes, they did.
Now it's a man in his 2nd year at the DTM, but a huge amount of experience in BMW touring cars of different types.
And also here over the course of the weekend, we've seen a number of Formula One drivers, but actually thinking about the BMW dominance at the moment, taking the championship last year and looking good here at Hockenheim as well. Dr. Mario Thiessen, who you said was part responsible for...
Yeah, I think he sold the deal to the board, and of course he went into retirement, but he's here this
Must be
weekend
delighted with that decision, I should think.
BMW probably outspending the other 2 manufacturers by a considerable amount in their DTM efforts. Mercedes cost a lot of money to spend on their Formula One team. And Audi with their quest to win Le Mans again. But for BMW, this is their #1 racing program. And car number 7, Gustav Farfus in the BMW 3 Series lookalike, is looking great here.
So from the grandstand, the BMW flags are waving. It's Farfus, Werner, Vitoris.
Yeah, and Farfus goes on to the last lap with Werner just about 5 seconds behind him. Vitoris 3rd. And Paffett and Spengler. And And Wehrlein down in 11th place will be the best rookie of the 4. Farfus is a man who knows how to celebrate. He's another of those young dads that we see in the BMW creche, I've nicknamed it. Farfus, Werner and Vittoris then.
A good showing from Werner, Andrew.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's a class act, is Werner. And,
for the championship last year is setting his stall out for a better season.
The Brazilian flag is ready. The BMW flags are ready. Farfus just reading off the final couple of left-handers. The flags wave. And first blood in 2013 to Augusto Farfus of Curitiba in Brazil takes this DTM victory with a strategically brilliant race. BMW 1-2 here with Christian Vittoris third for Mercedes-Benz and Gary Paffett, who we thought might be in with a shout in 4th place. With Spengler and Scheider and Joey Hand with a decent result for him in Rockefeller. The best of the Audis only down in 8th place, and Whitman and Merry. Wehrlein, the best of the newcomers, just ahead of another newcomer, Juncadella. Well, we had plenty of action, we had strategies. And that scrutinier's got his autograph book on his back. And Farfus just soaking it all up here, Dave. Just picking up lots of the rubber as well to get the weight up. And there'll be quite a lot of that. Well, we didn't see the huge drop-off from the stickies.
No.
The option tyres. So, very good result. For BMW.
So Augusto Farfus then enjoying the spoils of success.
Yeah, well, that relatively new team that was set up last year to run these cars. It's Toyota boss, or ex-Toyota Formula 1 guy doing that.
So we're on board with Pascal Wehrlein. Creditable performance from Wehrlein and Juncadella, 11th and 12th, Andrew. So there our race winner, Augusto Farfus. A replay of the checkered flag being waved for him. And
yeah, and a win too for team RBM. So Farfus will come home, see his wife Lilry and little daughter Victoria. It's just 2 years old. We saw her in the crash earlier on.
Here's confirmation of the result then. Augusto Farfus from Dirk Werner, then Christian Vittoris, then Gary Paffett, Bruno Spengler P5, Timo Scheider, Joey Hand, Mike Rockenfeller, good showing from Joey Hand, Marco Whitman P9, Roberto Merry 10, Pascal Wehrlein 11, with Danny Juncadella P12, then Tom Chick, Jamie Green, and Miguel Molina. Verena now has Jens Marquardt.
Certainly I do. Jens Marquardt here with me. Well, what a fantastic start into the season with a double victory. I guess it just begins the way last year ended. How do you feel about that?
It's amazing. It's really amazing. And to have Augusto starting from the front and Dirk starting from the very back, both and up there, is just fantastic. Mega, mega compliments to all the guys, to my teams, to RBM, to Schnitzer, everybody. Fantastic job. A big strategy that now really pays off with all the tire and DRS and options and anything. And I hope it was as exciting for the spectators as it was for us. But overall, really a great result. We've also seen Timo and Marco really doing well. I mean, unfortunate for Timo, but this is the learning that we have to go through. But from BMW side, overall, fantastic result.
All right, well, thank you very much. Congratulations, and back to you guys.
Yeah, very self-assured, isn't he? Marquardt spent some time working out in the United States, and we saw him on Friday addressing the troops in the BMW, and made a very good off-the-cuff speech. Here is Farfus. See how light those doors are when he opens it, just a little bit of carbon. There, the Brazilian colours on his crash helmet. Long old racing career for Farfus.
And there's and what you were saying there about Jens Marquardt, he actually said in the speech, do I write this? No, it's going to come from the heart.
Yeah, it's come from the heart. And yeah, now he said we were the chaser last year, now we are the chased. Well, they might have been chased, nobody caught them. Yeah, he knows how to celebrate. Farfus, Werner and Vitoris, those three cars down there. And must be Vitoris' best result. There's the wife and the baby.
Fresh from the crash.
Yeah, fresh from the crash. And yeah. They live in Monte Carlo these days, but originally from Curitiba in Brazil.
Some pride there,
I think
Andrew.
some other family members there as well, yeah.
Some pride there.
Well, your thoughts, Dave? You know, a different sort of DTM race, really, with all this strategy going on. We didn't quite get the handle on what tyres everyone was on all the time, particularly Paffett, who we thought was saving the stickers for the end and used them in the middle. But I guess we'll get a little bit more used to that.
Yes, there was so much new in this race. It was always going to be very, very difficult to read it accurately. Yeah.
But there didn't seem to be a huge difference between the options. It didn't seem 2 seconds a lap quicker, and they didn't go off, you know, by 4 seconds, as people said. So we're hearing words, Dave, that Vitoris, was it?
Yeah.
Did not use a set of the stickies. That's what the computer says. Somebody might have punched it in wrong. Can't believe that team would make that mistake. And it's so new, they know they have to put the options. So I think we'll probably park that idea for the moment.
Well, and it is very difficult. I mean, the ID, the yellow stripe around the tyre isn't bold enough.
No, not bold enough.
Long and short of it, we couldn't identify. We didn't know.
Hankook's corporate colours are orange. Why don't they make it orange? But you know, we'll always have a good chat with the Hankook people, and I think we'll raise that issue with them. It's not, if we're struggling, I think probably, well, I think our Russian colleague, 2 boxes down, probably struggling a bit more.
There's Jens Marquardt then.
Thank you. That was a brilliant race.
Really good race, he says.
Brilliant race. Very eloquent man, Andrew. Dirk Werner.
You see the joy on Dirk Werner's face.
Be heading up to the podium in due course, but that's interesting. Well, as you say, we're going to park it for now because you can't imagine that the team would allow that to happen.
You can't.
But, if that is the case, then that would play into the hands of Gary Paffett, but we will wait and see.
So that's the scene here at Hockenheim, the Drivers' Championship. Well, you get 25 points for a win. He's had 1 win, he gets 25 points. Dirk Werner on 18, Vitoris 15, Paffett on the 12, Spengler 10. And now we can hear from Christian Vitoris. He's going to be a happy man. And ask him about that tyre situation, Vitoris. We've just heard that maybe he didn't take the options. The computer says he didn't take the options.
Yeah, I'm going to ask him about that directly. First of all, congratulations, 3rd place. But our system says that you didn't use the option tire. Now the question is, our book says you have to use it once. Are you aware of that, or what exactly is the situation?
Well, I can't really see the tires which we have on the car, but it definitely felt like that we had the option on, because the pace was quite strong in the middle stint, and that's where we made the time. At the beginning I started on the standard tire where I lost the time, and at the end with the option tire which I drove, we gained the time again.
That's good to hear. And how's it feel, third place in the very first race of the season?
Really good. Was really looking forward to the race after a lot of tests. You never really knew where you are, but now we can be sure that we are fast enough.
So great job. Thank you very much, Christian, and back to you guys.
Yeah, it sounds as if he did take the options. There was a computer glitch. Obviously, it's new. They'll be working on this. We didn't see it all the way through the race, did we, Dave? You know,
no.
At times we saw it and it was helpful, but now we don't know whether we can trust it.
No.
So maybe we'll need to get somebody down there. Oh, yeah, he's done that before.
Yeah.
You know, we've got Bruno Spengler likes to fling himself onto the bonnet of his car, although he didn't do it the last time he won, which was a bit strange. And he does the big accented bow. Just with Werner. So
there's the podium then, about to get underway.
Yeah. Sure, we'll have the national anthem sung. Very much a tradition in the DTM. Always sounds great. I wonder if she knows the words of the Brazilian national anthem. The flag says across the globe, order and progress. I'm not sure if that's incorporated into the actual anthem as Farfus. He's an ebullient sort of guy, isn't he?
He is.
Yeah,
he is.
Yeah, like, he's loving this. So we had a really bad weekend of weather until this afternoon, which
Indeed.
proved out to be really nice. Got the party dress on.
Here comes the anthem. Beautifully sung, Andrew.
Yes, and just reflect on the success of Team RMG and Stefan Reinhold, who put that team together the winter before last. Based in Niedersachsen in Germany. There he is, up on the podium. And the Bavarian Minister of State provides the winning trophy. And there we are, the manufacturer's trophy is handed out. Second place now, Mr. Cho from Hankook. So he was the Chief Operating Officer, he'll be an important chap then. We'll have flown him for Korea from that. We'll have to say Hankook done a good job with those options. And a well-known goalie.
Farman.
Has he played in the UK at all? I don't think he has. Had quite a few German goalies in the past.
Yes.
There he is. Jens Marquardt, ex-Ilmor, Mercedes Engines, ex-Sauber. And around the racing scene for quite a long time. Is based out looking after Mercedes champ car engines, I think, years ago. It comes from a technical engineering background. So the bubbly is distributed in the time-honoured manner. And the laundromats of Munich will see a boost in profits. Yes. And that's quite interesting. That Hockenheim sign is new, I think, Dave. I think there used to be a big mobile can up there at one stage. I just saw. Some nice slow-mo shots of the golden bottle. Yes. Got to go for the golden bottle. And Farfus now has 2 of them. Terrific result. So Timo Scheider from the pole eventually finished in 6th place. Spengler, the reigning champion, in 5th. But certainly Audi will be scratching their head a bit, just as they were a year ago.
Yes, yes, I think you're right.
Fan TV nochmal. Zum ersten Mal mit den Siegerinterviews. Wir wollen Ihnen natürlich die Möglichkeit geben, auch die Fahrer nochmal ohne Helm zu sehen. Augusto, hier ist die Kamera. Maybe it was your second
we're going to get it
year
in English
DTM. It was your second victory. Maybe you can talk us through your feelings.
Amazing. Has been a good weekend since the beginning. Since this new rules has been applied to DTM, we didn't know what to expect from the race. Started on option tires, I knew that I needed a strong first stint, and then we had the safety car, and the team reacted very well. So I did my job, but the team did an amazing job from the garage from the pit wall, making the right call. So I definitely this time I have to give this victory completely to BMW, to team BMW RBM team, because. It's amazing to start the season like this. I didn't expect, and it's still hard to believe.
Congratulations once again, and now go to the press conference. Der Zweitplatzierte an dieser Stelle, Dirk Werner, im Winter Vater
this one will be in German, Dave.
You can translate. Von ganz hinten von 22 auf 2 nach vorne gefahren. Ich glaube, das hättest du in deinen kühnsten Träumen nicht für möglich gehalten, oder?
Nein, also erstmal habe ich meinen Jungs versprochen, ich grüße vom Podium. Hallo.
So he's obviously pleased to be on the podium. That bit we can tell you.
Wirklich. War ich wahnsinnig enttäuscht und traurig. Heute kann ich es gar nicht fassen, also so schnell geht's.
So speaking in German, I'm sure
und
some of you
heute war das
listening on different outlets might be able to understand this.
Ich konnte die anderen Fahrer überholen ohne Probleme und bin eigentlich dadurch wie das Messer durch die Butter und hat unheimlich Spaß gemacht. Das ist echt der Wahnsinn. Vielen Dank ans Team. Die haben mich genau zum richtigen Zeitpunkt immer reingeholt in die Box. Super Boxenstops gemacht.
Meanwhile, Verena now has Augusto.
Ja, absolut spitze. Vielen herzlichen
Dank. The man of the moment. I'm here with Augusto Farfus. Well, congratulations. We saw a brilliant race from your side, up on the podium, the very first race. How does it feel with the victory?
Amazing to start the season in such level. It's fantastic. We didn't know what to expect since the new season was starting, new rules, option tires, DRS. So I have to say the team did a fantastic job. From the pit wall, they made the right calls at the beginning when they had safety car out to pull me in options and get on the primes. I had a very strong pace on prime, so I think the race we managed a good pace through the entire race. So that's why at the end I had a little margin. But it's just a dream. It's hard to believe to start. If I look backwards, just 12 months ago I was doing my first DTM race, and now I have the second victory, and I'm starting the season already with the right foot. So let's concentrate now, do step by step. But now I want to really enjoy this moment.
I bet. And quite frankly, how does DRS feel? Like you're flying?
Yes, it was the first time that we could really try it in a race situation, and you can see that it gives you a lot. You can definitely attack the guy in front of you, especially if you have the options tires. You can definitely make a big gain. So I think it was a nice introduction from DTM, and now we're going to see very funny and nice races.
All right, well, thank you very much, Augusto. Congratulations. And here I've got Dirk Werner, the miracle man of the race, because, my God, you started all the way in the back and you flew across the field, landing on second place. How does that feel?
That feels unbelievable, especially when I think of yesterday, where I really was so disappointed because of the starting position and nothing worked in practice and qualifying. And today it feels like, you know, the best day of my life. Really everything worked together. Of course, the safety car helped me to bunch up the field, and then I was on the right tires. I could overtake a lot of cars. The car was so fast, unbelievable. And also the strategy calls, everything. The car was amazing. The team worked so great. So this is a great day.
So perfect day for you.
Exactly, perfect day.
Well, congratulations. And now after these two happy drivers, here's back to you.
Thanks very much. Nice to hear from that. What a nice man Dirk Werner is. And
yes, he
did
is.
An excellent job there. So already the grandstand starting to clear. Here's some highlights, Dave. Timo Scheider into the first corner first. That was the view from Bruno Spengler's car. He got a mega start. Feel a bit sorry for Wickens. We didn't find out exactly what happened to him. Just seemed to lock up under brakes, but obviously some mechanical failure. Yeah, Farfus straight past the flame-spitting Audi, and then this was what I just mentioned, a Canadian going out, and then we had the Tambay fire from the Ironman 3 car.
Yes.
The bonnet flying off the Ekstrom machine. Quite a lot of activity in this race. There's a bit of a dodgy move.
It was a bit of a nerf, Andrew,
yeah,
wasn't it?
And the Playboy car going round as well. And then Gary nudging his way up the field. Yeah, good shot of Gary in a sandwich between the two BMWs.
Yes, that was a battle that raged and raged, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Very enjoyable to watch.
Finally, Paffett past Tomczyk. There's the Glock error. Departed without a wheel nut on the right rear, so he didn't go very far.
And that was a shame because Timo had
new
shown
team
good.
Making a mistake there. Consternation down in the BMW pit. And Bruno seemed to get a bump along. Farfus putting in those string of very quick laps, which ultimately would take him to the front. Different strategies going on. Werner, helped by excellent Schnitzer pit work. Farfus still going ahead, and then the Brazilian flag is readied for the second DTM victory by Augusto Farfus here at Hockenheim on this spring day. And a BMW 1.2, Mercedes 3.4. The RMG team celebrate.
Plenty of BMW flags being waved all around us in the stands.
And here was the checkered flag. We'd only got the fireworks at the October meeting, of course.
So delight all round.
Yep. Well, it's been a long winter.
Yes,
getting ready for this. All the question marks. Not sure we've got all the answers yet, Dave.
No.
And of course it's going to be rather different next race at Brands Hatch, little short circuit. What will that do to the strategies and the options? So easy to go a lap down there.
Yep. Yes.
Thanks to Verena, all the hard work, getting the interviews down there. I think she was taking a little time out from racing after this, so may have a different pitch reporter next time. As we look down on this area, remember we're halfway between Frankfurt and Stuttgart. Here, head south for about an hour from Frankfurt airport, and it's basically two autobahns run parallel. Just seeing one down there. They go either side of the circuit. Look at the car park. Yeah, the official crowd, they do this here. They put out a crowd number before the start of the race, which always confuses me because presumably some latecomers, but I think they said 87,000. Of course, you get over 100 for the October final meeting, but I think it was pretty similar to last year. Because we'd lost Ralf Schumacher, who was a draw